Okay, there we go. How's that? Oh yeah, that works. What do you think about that? Let's actually scooch it a little bit this way. Right? There we go. Okay. There's a fun angle for me. Okay. So, we're live. Good. So, we're going to continue our read through our Christmas stories. But we're going to cheat a little bit. It's a Christian book. But it's kind of more of a fall Halloween book. And we love Halloween almost as much as we love Christmas. So, we're going to read this little pumpkin prayer book for our Christian story for tonight, in addition to our Christmas stories. Okay? Anybody? And you just had to have a snack right now. So, all right. A pumpkin prayer. And you got to think that down. I'm being silly. With thanks, I say a pumpkin prayer under an autumn sky. I wouldn't mind it being autumn. I'm done with the heat. For crunch, crunch, crunch beneath my feet and leaves piled up this high. For autumn winds so cool and crisp that launch the leaves in flight. For orange, yellow, brown, and red, a colorful delight. For yummy smelling pumpkin pie and orange grins that glow. And a pumpkin spice season's coming. Mama likes that. For family, friends, for plenty, and a God who loves me so. Yeah, Martina? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let's continue on with this. My little girl. Kate and Dick's Christmas by Fanny E. Ostrander. Bessie and Clara were staying at their grandparents' house in the country for the summer with their cousins Kate and Dick, where they enjoyed sharing a good many pets. There were the sheepdogs, Frisk and Ponto and Fuss, and another little dog called Fly. There was the pony, Fleet, and the newest pet of all was a dear little colt that Kate's papa had given to her for her very own, because the pony she rode really belonged to Dick. This colt she had named Fairy, and she took great care of it. Then the baby that they all loved lived here. Her name was May, and she was Kate and Dick's sister. She was a sweet little thing, just beginning to walk and to talk. She could say "chickie" quite plainly, and she liked to toddle out and watch the little girls feed the chickens. But I can't begin to tell you all the good times the children had that summer. They were happy all the time, and Grandma said they were so good that it was really no trouble at all to have them there. But at last, one Saturday evening, Papa, who always came out from the city to spend Sunday with them, said they must start for home the next Monday. They did want to stay longer, but Papa laughed and said Christmas is coming now, you know, and Santa Claus couldn't bring things away out here as easy as he could get them to you in town. Then the children began to think of Christmas and to tease Grandpa and Grandma to come and spend it with them. And of course, Papa and Mama teased too. So at last they promised. The children said goodbye to their pets and to Kate and Mary and Dick and went away shouting, "Goodbye, Grandma. Now remember you promised." After the children reached home, they talked of grandmas nearly all the time when they were not talking of Christmas. Bessie wrote a postcard to Santa Claus asking him to be sure to bring a pair of his nicest gold-bowed spectacles for Grandma, because she had lost her old ones, and a gold-headed cane for Grandpa. At last Christmas Eve came, and Grandma and Grandpa were there, and the children hung up their stockings. and Bessie said that Grandma and Grandpa must be sure to hang up theirs too. Then after they had gone to bed, the smaller children whispered for a long time about Santa Claus and listened to hear his sleigh bells on the roof. I don't see how he can get down the chimney, whispered Bessie. You know he's so fat in all his pictures. Maybe he takes off his coat, whispered Clara. Then he wouldn't be quite so big. But she didn't see how he could get down the chimney either. Once or twice they were sure they heard him on the roof. And they covered up their heads so he wouldn't think they were peeping. And at last they went to sleep before they knew it. Willie and Tom were just as anxious as the little girls and whispered just as much. Bessie and Claire were the first ones up. They shouted with delight. Oh, yeah. They shouted with delight when they looked in their stockings. There was a little doll in each stocking, a doll with real hair and eyes that opened and shut. The dolls were dressed very prettily. Willie found the funniest jumping jack in his stocking, and Tom pulled a flute out of his. He had everybody awake in no time after that. Grace was happy when she looked in her stocking. There was a little box in it, and in the box was a lovely gold watch. Harry found just what he wanted too, a pair of skates. But Grandma and Grandpa were surprised when they discovered the spectacles and the cane. Who could have told Santa what we wanted? Said Grandma. Grandpa said he couldn't understand it either, and then Bessie had to tell the secret. She ran up to each of them and whispered, I wrote it in myself. Then how they kissed her. All day long the library was kept closed. Not a child was allowed to peep in. What fun they had all day. How about a Christmas dinner with a plum pudding as big as a pumpkin? Hey, 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 shh. Calm down, please. In the evening, the library door was open, and there was the prettiest Christmas tree, all blazing with candles and hung with pretty things, while piled around it were books and toys and everything that everybody wanted most. And there, lying in front of the tree and looking as happy as the children themselves, was a great big noble dog, who got up and came to meet them as they trooped in. Oh, 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 cried Bessie, bending to pat the big dog's head. What's your name, you great big darling? Oh, oh, whose is he, Papa? Ask Santa Claus, said Papa. And sure enough, Santa Claus stepped out from behind the tree. His name is on his collar, Santa Claus said to Bessie. And then the children all rushed for him, for they knew it was Grandpa dressed up like Santa Claus. Afterward, Bessie spelled out the dog's name, Carlo, on his collar, and her own on a card which was tied to it, and she was the happiest little girl in the world. But everyone else was happy too. They all said it was the very merriest Christmas they had ever seen. And Clara and Bessie dreamed that Santa Claus told them he himself had never had so much fun before. Thank you, letters. An extract from Betty Trevor by Mrs. G. D. Horn Versailles. I don't think I said that right. Betty and Jill, whose full name is Margaret, are sisters. A sovereign was a gold coin, and a crown was a silver one, both worth quite a generous amount of money when the story was written. Betty Trevor shivered up in her attic bedroom, putting in the last stitches to the presents that she was making at the cost of much trouble. Jill was invited to the private view, her own present being hidden away, and expressed admiration. Such a lot of work, though, she declared. Look at me. I've done the whole thing in one afternoon. Sailed out with my savings in my purse, and I got 15 really handsome presents. Jill, you haven't. It is impossible. It is. It only needs management. I've kept all the chocolate boxes we have had given to us during the year, 6 of them, and they look wonderful, filled with sweets at 6 pence a pound. I collected Mother's old scent bottles too, and bought a shilling's worth of eau de cologne to fill them. Such a joke. It didn't quite go round, so I put some water in the glass. It's turned quite milky. I'll have to give that to Pam. She'll think it's something new and superior. I've got sticking plaster for the boys. They are sure to cut their fingers someday. And a beautiful needle book for Mother. She skipped downstairs and, sitting down in the drawing room, proceeded to write a number of letters in which words and spaces were curiously mingled. Dear Aunt Margaret, thank you so much for the beautiful. It is just what I wanted. It is so nice of you to send it to me. I think it is. I hope you are quite well and not having asthma anymore. Your loving niece, Margaret. Darling Cousin Flo, I am so awfully obliged to you for the lovely. It is just what I wanted. I am so pleased to have it. It will just do for. I think Christmas is ripping, don't you? Please write soon. Dear Mrs. Gregory, it is most kind of you to remember me. Such a nice present. The is just what I wanted. I am much obliged to you for remembering me. Has not Christmas Day been this year? I am your loving little friend, Margaret Meredith Trevor. My own dear darling Nora. One angel you are to send me that perfectly lovely. It is just exactly what I wanted, and I am so proud to have it. Come round tomorrow and see my things I've got all together. Isn't that a lot? Don't you call this weather? Your own Jill. She was scribbling away when a hand fell on her shoulder and a voice cried, "Eh, what? Too busy to hear me come in, were you? What's the meaning of this?" Starting up, she saw General Digby bending over her. This was not the first visit which the general had paid. He was a lonely old man, and to spend a few minutes in the cheery atmosphere of his family made a pleasant break for him. Writing Christmas letters, eh? Boomed the general loudly. Sending off your presents, I suppose. What? Thanking people for presents, do you say? That's a bit previous, isn't it? What's the hurry? There's always so much going on after Christmas when the boys are at home, and it's such a bore being in the house writing letters. I use up the odd times before and getting them as ready as I can, and then it only takes a minute to fill in the spaces. She held out a specimen letter as she spoke, and, looking at it, General Digby went off into a convulsion of laughter, coughing, and panting for breath. Jill promptly pounded him on the back until he recovered himself enough to shake her off, declaring that the cure was worse than the disease. Then he sank into a chair and wiped his eyes with a handkerchief. "Where's my letter?" he inquired. "I suppose there's one addressed to me among all these that number? Was I as fortunate as the rest in sending just what was wanted? You are a young woman of a great many wants, it seems to me. Tell me what now. I'll strike a bargain. Fill up the blanks, and I'll see if I can come up with the expectation." "Oh, no," cried Jill, blushing with embarrassment. "There is no letter for you. I truly never thought you would give us anything. I couldn't possibly choose myself. It's awfully good of you to think of it. But really anything. It's like this, you see. I don't want anything I can get." "Oh, you do you?" cried the general. "Nothing like honesty in this world, my dear. Well, we must see what we can do. I'll bend my mind to the question, and you shall know the result on Christmas Day." The Trevors' program on Christmas Day differed from those of their friends. The presents were given in the morning. There was enough excitement to know that it was Christmas Day, and to linger over a late and luxurious breakfast before going to church. On the return, the first sight of the hall table banished every other thought, for on it lay a pile of Christmas cards. But he pounced on them, and gave a shout of delight. "There's money inside! There is! I can feel it! Mine's quite small, like a..." She opened her own in a flutter of excitement. Inside was a folded piece of paper, enclosing a second envelope. In her haste, Betty ripped it open and held up to view a brand new sovereign. It is! How simply lovely! I was so hard up, and now What angel can have sent it? She picked up the piece of paper which she had dropped in her haste and read aloud, with the best wishes of General Digby. Jack and Jill had each a new 10-shilling piece, and Pam a magnificent silver crown. He said he would send me something, but I never thought it would be money. It's what I like better than anything else to be rich in Christmas holidays, Jill cried. Mrs. Trevor smiled and said, so he seemed to think. He asked my permission before sending his presents in this form, and said he would like to give you money, because when he was a boy, an old lady used to send him new coins to himself and his brothers every Christmas, and he had never forgotten the pleasures they gave him. Christmas morning. An extract from Peter and Polly in Winter by Rosa Lucia. Early Christmas morning, Peter awoke. He heard a noise in Mother's room, so he knew that he might get up. He pushed open the door. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! He shouted. Merry Christmas, said Mother, hugging him tightly. Merry Christmas, said Father, tossing him up in the air. Did you see Santa Claus last night? Just then Polly ran in. Oh, it is Christmas, she cried. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Did you see what I found in my bed? It was a box of animal crackers. They were all sheep. Oh, Father, you did it for a joke. You know I do not like mutton. There were to be no more presents until after breakfast, so the children dressed quickly. It was very hard for them to eat anything at all. At last Polly said, I cannot wait another second. I will eat my breakfast with my dinner. Here comes Grandmother. Now may we open the door and see the tree? In just a minute, said Father. You say Merry Christmas to Grandmother. I have one last thing for the tree. You may come in when I call. And out he ran. I wonder what it is, said Polly excitedly. I could hear him coming back through the side door. Then Grandmother came in, and Polly forgot to wonder anymore. At last they heard Father shout, Come! Polly opened the door, and the children rushed in. Oh, said Polly. Oh, said Peter. Such a beautiful tree they had never seen before. It was hung with strings of popcorn and red cranberries. It was covered with colorful balls and gold stars. Over it was white, shining stuff. It looked like snow. It had candy bags and oranges. At the top, there was a doll with wings, and there were many boxes and packages. Oh, said both children again. Do you like it? Asked Mother. I never saw anything so pretty, said Polly. Is that a fairy at the top? I think it's Santa Claus's little girl, said Peter. I should very much like to have her for my own. Should you rather have that than anything else here? Asked Father. I think so, Father. May I? Walk around the tree and see if you are sure, my son. Peter did as he was told. He had not taken many steps when he jumped back with a cry. What is it? What is it? He asked. Polly ran forward, and what do you think she saw? On the other side of the tree, something moved. Polly saw two large eyes, two long ears, a brown head, and then she knew that it was a pony. Peter, she cried, here is the pony. It is on the Christmas tree. Oh, Peter. Lead her out, said Father. She will come with you. She likes children. So Polly took hold of the pony's little strap, and the pony walked out into the room with her. Her name is Brownie, said Father. She is Grandmother's present to you and Peter. She's half yours and half Peter's. Oh, Grandmother, cried Polly, thank you now. But I will thank you even better before long. Which half is mine, Grandmother? Asked Peter. Half of both halves, Grandmother replied. Why? Nothing, said Peter. I love both her halves, and I love you too. And I love the tree and Christmas and everybody. And so you should, said Father. Come now, we will take Brownie to her stable. Then you may get the presents off the tree. I think that's enough for tonight. We're just shy of 20 minutes, but that's okay. Right, buddy? Yeah. Besides, you're busy clapping anyhow. All right. Let's see here. Make sure it doesn't spill. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, it's a quick little, well, not quick, but a little short for a normal reading. Dolly, can you say goodnight? No, I'm just going to get out of frame. Okay, that's good. All right, guys. We will see you all tomorrow night. Good night.